Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. In today's video, we'll be doing a patch 12.16 rundown for TFT Set 7. This is the last patch of the set. I personally won't be playing this patch as I'll be playing PvE, but for you guys who want to make a final push, then we'll be talking about how this will impact the meta. Now, I will be using Mortdog's video as he posts these a couple days before the official notes go up. And what I do in here, if you're new to my channel, is I watch the dev rundown, I listen to what they have to say, and then when I do my rundowns, I try to give the dev's perspective as well as what I think as a player this will actually impact on the meta and kind of give that type of perspective. So that out of the way, let's get into it. All right, here we are on the first traits, and before we get too much into it, I just want to say that this patch is not a big patch in terms of meta impact. It's a lot of tuning of some of the things that are weak and tuning down a lot of the dragons actually. So maybe we'll see like some rerolls come out. They are buffing Scalescorn quite a bit in this patch and buffed some of the more fun builds, kind of like we send, but we'll get into that when we get to them. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I don't think this is hugely impactful to the meta, but there's a chance that we might see some stuff because of all the stuff that is good at being taken down just a little bit. But here we go. So Bruiser 6 and 8 is getting buffed. This is just to make it a more fun. Honestly, I see this just kind of as a for fun change. I don't think chasing 6 and 8 Bruisers is going to be a meta style, but if you guys really like playing that vertical, then you can do that. Forgot to turn off my alerts again. Very cool. Thank you for the follow, big man. Anyways, okay. Cavalier over here is getting taken down a little bit. Cavalier is super strong. So the circumstances you play Cavalier usually is going to be with Deja. I mean, that's the best time. And then if you have Cavalier spat and you're just trying to play a bunch of Cavaliers with the Cavalier spat carry, like Olaf, like Siphon, that sort of thing, like show you, it's still going to be good. So still put Cavaliers in the situation you want to play Cavaliers. Trainer, Nomsy fireball damage getting taken down. So Nomsy itself will still be super tanky if you guys want to play the Nomsy builds. Nomsy will still be a viable way to play the game with these changes. That 200% buff is just so huge, and they wanted to take a little bit of damage down here because Nomsy is actually overperforming with Trainer 3. But I'm really glad they didn't take the damage out of the Trainer 3 buff from 100% to 200%. No, that number looks really huge, but it's kind of lame. Like, it's not lame. Like, it'd be lame if they took that away because you really want Trainer 2 and Trainer 3 to feel really different. So I like that. So I like that they're just taking down the base damage down a little bit, but Nomsy will still be super good if you get him really early, or if you want to, carry her, you know, you'll still be good to go. Okay, Tempest 6 and 8 is getting buffed. Does that make you want to run 6 and 8 Tempest? No, probably not. But you know, you guys can try out some fun stuff, right? Especially Lee Sin gets a buff in here in a couple different ways. So if you want to try to run like a Lee Sin vertical, like a Lee Sin carry into an Ao Shin or something like that, that could be fun. Maybe try it out. But yeah, Tempest is just kind of hard to run, and it's not super good. Yeah. Anyways, all right, champions large. So Ezreal this is actually a buff. He's getting his AD taken down. His base attack speed's going up. And what's important to know about this base attack speed, because you might look at this and go, this is neutral. But what's really important to know about base attack speed on Ezreal is that it scales on his ability. So his ability is kind of like a Rage Blade, and what Rage Blade does and what Ezreal's ability does is it scales off of his base attack speed. And so since his base is going up, that actually scales up his ability scaling as well. So this is actually a buff to Ezreal, and the reason why they're taking down his ADs, they just really don't want Ezreal to become an AD carry when he's really, his identity is supposed to be as an AP carry. I'm surprised they didn't add a little bit of, I thought they were going to add a little bit of damage to his 3-star spell to make playing Ezreal a little bit more viable, Ezreal reroll, but they just wanted to make Ezreal a better item holder, more comparable with Senna. So I'm fine with that. It's a good change overall. Okay, Kanye is getting a lot tankier actually. This is pretty good. Normally when they do armor and MR buffs, like for squishy units, normally give him like 5, give him 10. That's pretty good, especially comboed with, he has all that built-in Omni Vamp with Rage Wing, stuff like that. And then mana is being taken down a little bit as well. So guys, maybe try some for fun Kayn reroll builds. Maybe you can make it work on this patch because all the dragons that are meta are getting nerfed. So maybe give it a try. Give Kayn reroll a try if you guys want to try it. Also, this is a nice buff to Scalescorn build. If you are playing the assassin variation, when you get the assassin emblem, you play Sinloff. It's actually a big buff to that build. They're buffing that build a lot, so I actually think Scalescorn is going to be decently meta this next patch, so keep an eye on that. Braum is getting buffed, this 2080 buff. Also another buff to Scalescorn, but this isn't really for that reason. It's not for Scalescorn, but they're buffing this because Braum actually has really low base AD for being a Guardian. All the Guardians have really high base AD, and the reason why they do that is because Guardians don't really have like impactful spells in terms of combat. You know, they're really always defensive spells, so it's difficult for them to kill units at the end of fights, especially in overtime, that sort of thing. So they usually have pretty high base AD. But Braum, for whatever reason, just had really low base AD for this whole time, so that's what they're changing here. Very good change, very good quality of life change. Kind of puts them in line with the rest of the Guardians. All right, Champions Large, 3 and 4 cost. Another buff to Scalescorn, guys. Diana probably did need a little bit of love. She's kind of weak, especially even when you 3-star. If you played Scalescorn in this last patch, she feels like the weakest of the... You know, I don't know if she's the weakest of the trio of Lilia, Olaf, and Diana, but... I don't know. I'm never really that excited when I hit the Diana 3. If I'm playing like an Olaf centric build, I'm like, cool, hit Diana 3, but I still didn't hit Olaf. I guess I just go 5th or whatever, you know. So nice little buff to her, probably deserved. But along with the other buffs, guys, I don't know. We'll see. Might be Scalescorn, might be super meta. And there's another change to Lily at the end that you'll see. Cool. Rise is getting his base attack speed buff. Yeah, probably needed. You know, even with Nami getting nerfed, Nami still felt like the more consistent option, which feels strange. Like Nami 3 still feels better than Rise 2, and I know that sounds right, except for that Nami is you're guaranteed to hit Nami, and Rise you actually kind of had to, you know, like Rise 2 and Nami 3 are equally as difficult to hit. So yeah, it just feels weird that Nami is still feeling stronger than him as the item holder. So they're giving them a little bit of love here. I don't know if this changes anything. But yeah, maybe try Rise if you guys like playing Rise. Be a little bit stronger. Now, my boy Lee Sin is getting buffed. So he will still cast at the same amount of time. It is still 60 mana for him to get his first cast off. But he'll get multiple cast off quicker. And they're also buffing Axiom Arc, which is one of Lee Sin's best augments as well. So guys, if you want to try the Lee Sin build, it's very, very, very fun. This is my favorite build to play in this game, but it's always been bad, except for the beginning of the set. So maybe try it out if you guys want to try it out. Maybe it'll be okay next patch, especially with all the dragons getting nerfed. This is definitely the time to play Lee Sin, the Lee Sin comp if you guys want to try it. And with Tempest 6 and 8 getting buffed, actually if you're playing Lee Sin carry, your outs are actually buffed as well, because an out for playing Lee Sin carry normally play 6 Demancer into just like supportive units for that. But sometimes if you hit Ao Shin, you can kind of pivot to like a vertical Tempest. So maybe give that a try. Maybe give Lee Sin a try into vertical Tempest, or Lee Sin a try into Shyvana is another way to play Lee Sin as well. And Shyvana is getting buffed on this patch as well. Cool. So give Lee Sin a try if you guys want to have some fun. Not recommending it as a climbing build, but if you want to have fun, go ahead and play it. All right, Xayah getting buffed, definitely deserved, especially with Corki not getting nerfed on this patch. Definitely gets her a lot closer to being in line with that. And this is the best buff they could have ever done. The base AD is really nice. That's not really what I'm talking about, but buffing the 1-star Xayah, guys, it is mind-blowing to me, and I'm going to flame the devs here a little bit. Like, it is mind-blowing to me, that patch where they nerfed Xayah, and they nerfed Xayah 1 super hard, because every single Xayah player in high elo, at least on the North American server, we all knew that Xayah 1 was trash. Like, Xayah, even when Xayah was meta, Xayah 1 was trash. Xayah 1's a fucking joke. But yeah, so that was mind-blowing to me. So I'm really glad that the devs are like, yeah, Xayah 1's pretty tough to get the guild comp going. And Xayah's comp is super high roll. So a lot of times you have to like sit on Xayah 1 for a while, because the rest of her board is so expensive as well. So if you're hitting her other units, it's really difficult. So yeah, definitely the buff in the right place. And I think Xayah will definitely be meta next patch, because right now she's already like on the outside of the meta. Like you can play her if you're high rolling, but it never feels that great. And but I think she'll actually be meta on this patch, especially with everything else being taken down. All right, Deja. Deja's getting some tankiness taken away. You probably won't really notice that too much, but especially with Assassins getting buffed and Scalescorn getting buffed, this is going to feel really good as a counter matchup with Scalescorn. It's going to feel good for the Scalescorn side. And then the passive taken down from Deja. So just a little bit taken down from Deja. Deja's still going to be good next patch. Just a little bit of tune down for sure. But yeah, definitely Scalescorn is going to have a much better matchup in the Deja now, especially with Cavaliers getting taken down as well. Show You damage reduction getting taken down. I'm surprised this is where they hit Show You, but maybe deserved. I'm not sure. I don't think Show You needed to be nerfed, honestly. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't think Show You need to be nerfed, but if they're going to nerf the other 2 big dragons, then probably they need to also nerf Show You. But the issue I have with Show You has such a bad matchup into Corki comp, and Corki's not getting touched here. I know Siphon's getting nerfed a little bit, which is a contributor to Corki comp, but not always. Yeah, so Show You I think has a pretty bad matchup into Corki, and can have a bad matchup into Xayah as well, you know, especially if Show You's the last one left walking towards Xayah, has all those feathers behind him. can feel kind of bad. So I don't know if this was needed, but maybe it was needed just because the other 8 costs got nerfed as well. But I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll just trust the devs on this one, but I think it might be unnecessary. Okay, Siphon is getting taken down a little bit. Definitely deserved. 10 AD, 10 armor and MMR. You probably won't really notice this. If you guys like playing Siphon, Siphon will still be good. Siphon will still be a good frontline option with like Corki and mages and what's the other one? Varus. So yeah, still play Siphon probably. Don't think this changes a whole lot, but definitely just a nice little tune down. Yasuo getting nerfed, definitely deserved. The base HP on Yasuo is very, very, very high, especially with a lot of times you play Yasuo, you'll just put a Cavalier emblem. So if you have a Cavalier emblem and then the high base health and then he shields, he's just so tanky. He just kind of does it all. Definitely the best legendary in this set, has been the best pretty much the entire set. Definitely still keep playing Yasuo if you guys like playing Yasuo, but deserve nerf right here. Should still be good though. All right, Pyke is getting buffed. Definitely deserve buff right here, especially at 2-star. I really like the 2-star buff. I mean, 1-star buff is fine, whatever. I feel like 1-star Pyke kind of felt like 1-star Pyke. I don't know, kind of felt like what it was supposed to do a little bit, but a lot of times at 2-star Pyke, and he just doesn't. Like, he never gets his reset, and it's really disappointing even when you itemize him. So definitely deserve buff here. Should feel a little bit nicer on the next patch. So excited about that for sure. But yeah, still play the other stuff. Still play Yasuo. It'll still be good. All right, items large here. Static Shiv getting taken down, deserved. It's been probably the best early game item. Like, it's definitely the best early game item. It's been the best early game item in the entire set. And then as well as, it's not even a bad item late game because the shred is really nice. The shred is really, really nice, especially in like Deja comp, that sort of thing. Yeah, the shred is very nice. So definitely deserve nerf, and it's just a match nerf on the Radiant version. ZZ Rot Portal, I'm surprised it's getting nerfed again because it got nerfed just recently, but apparently it's just really doing super well in the meta. I know people like to build this. I know it's strong, and then also it's very, very, very popular in China, so that's why they're nerfing it down here as well. They just say it's performing super well in the data, and I'll just trust them on that. I haven't really seen that in my experience, but I would trust them on that for sure. All right, Axiom Arc, as I said, it's getting buffed. Axiom Arc 1 and 2. Yeah, this augment is kind of tough to use. It's very good in Deja and Lee Sin comp. So as I said, again, guys, try that Lee Sin comp if you want to. This is one of his better augments for sure. He gets his kickoff, then he refunds that mana, as well as they buffed Lee Sin's mana pool. They lowered it from 100 to 90. So guys, if you want to try that for fun build, make sure and try it and know that Axiom Arc is one of your better augments for sure. Best Friend's getting taken down a little bit. Fine. Yeah, my Besto Friendo, that's been one of the better augments this entire set, so probably deserved. Cybernetics, health getting taken down. Cybernetics, super, super, super good augment. You're always happy to take it when it gets offered, so definitely deserved right there. Hotshot getting taken down a little bit. They said it's overperforming a little bit in the data. I'm not really sure. Like, maybe it's overperforming the data just because Namzi is good, and like taking this early to get that Tristana is amazing. Like, I use it for that reason a lot, so I'm not sure if it needs to be nerfed. They say it's performing really well in the data, but it might just be a Namzi thing. I'm not sure. So but you know, whatever. Okay, late game specialist getting buffed, cool. That's fine. Personal training getting buffed, that's probably deserved. It's been very difficult to like make this augment work because you have to really invest in it, and then like, you know, that now like you're investing in something so hard and now you can't really pivot, so to still maintain value. So yeah, probably need to be buffed. And this is also another buff to Scalescorn and composition. If you get an Olaf at the beginning of the game and then you get this offered, you're like, boom, you're high rolling. So another buff to the Scalescorn composition for sure. Press the attack getting taken down a little bit. This is just a response to Xayah getting that pretty hefty buff with everything else getting nerfed. So they're trying to lower the high end of Xayah comp because they're raising the floor. So they want to bring down the high end a little bit. So the high end went up as well with her buff, with her base buff, because the base buff will scale when you start her up, the base AD buff. So they're just so the ceiling went up and they're bringing it back down to where it was. So I think it's definitely good change here. Richer Plus getting buffed, nice. Yeah, this augment's very hard to take. Scorch getting taken down a little bit. This is just a response to Set is still very strong, especially in China as well. A lot of people really like Set reroll, but Set reroll is strong in every region right now. So they're taking it down to lower his high end, as well as again lower the high end of Xayah because they have raised the floor. So cool. Weak spot getting nerfed. Definitely deserved. This augment is super good. It's still gonna be good if you get this offered. It's still gonna be good if you need it. Still take weak spot. Windfall getting buffed. Yeah, this augment's hard to take. Deserved. We'll see how this works out. You know what, like maybe this augment's actually good. It just never feels good to take. So maybe it'll feel better to take, and maybe people will start taking a little more. They say it's a little bit more popular in China, but I don't know. It just always feels hard to take. It never feels like an attractive option versus some of the other stuff. So maybe give it a try this patch. We'll see. All right, guild. So this is just a UI change. So instead of it being like showing on your screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and taking up half your screen, it's just gonna do 1 through 8, and then you'll just have the number indicator to indicate how many guild you have. Very good change. Very good change, of course. Scalescorn, just the 6 is being taken down a little bit. Good catch by the devs because they're buffing Scalescorn in like 20 other ways. Not that you even get 6 Scalescorn that often. And this is also I'll flame the devs a little bit. This is also just a revert to a completely unnecessary buff that they made like 3 patches ago when they made this buff. They made this buff when Scalescorns were like one of the meta comps, so it made no sense. So they're just reverting this buff that universally every high elo player was like, what? Why'd you buff it? But anyways, all right. Yone is getting nerfed, so Yone is getting down at 2-star and 3-star. I'm a little sad that his 3-star is getting taken down because I think he's one of the very few viable reroll compositions that you can play. You can definitely play him in the right circumstances, like when you get duelist, even spell swords sometimes. Dawnbringer's okay on him as well, and especially if you get like hallucinate, Yone can be pretty good. So I'm a little bit sad they're taking down his 3-star. His 2-star was deserved. He's very strong at 2-star, but honestly I'm a little sad at the 3-star. But maybe this is a response because the dragons are getting taken down, that maybe they don't want like a Yone Scalescorn meta. I don't know. But yeah, I thought the 3-star was a little unnecessary. Okay, Sona is getting buffed, or 2-star is getting buffed. Very nice. This is especially good if you guys want to try to do like Mage Sona, that sort of thing. So try to do the, the fantasy of running Sona carry. Sona carry has started to pop up a little bit and like be okay, especially with Mage Emblem, of course. But yeah, maybe give it a try on the next patch. Might be a little bit better. Okay, cool. And Elise is getting buffed. So this is a 20 damage on 1-star. I don't know if she needs this. Definitely, guys, if you guys get dropped a Lee Sin from an orb in the early game, Elise, if you get dropped her in an orb in the early game, she can be very good as like just an early game carry, like stage 2 carry if you don't know what to play. So give that a try for sure. Happy she got the 2-star buff for sure. Maybe Elise will start popping up in the meta with the Siphon comp again. Getting any buff to her base spell damage is nice because she needs that execute. It will scale her crit as well. So guys, if you want to try to play Elise, give her a try. I don't think this she'll be meta personally, but if you want to try it, you can try it. Yeah, so try it. You want to have some fun. Okay, Aoshin, 2-star is getting taken down. Definitely deserved. They just buffed the Aoshin 1, which was a great change because now Aoshin 1 feels pretty good, feels pretty stable getting into that. But right now Aoshin 2 feels like guaranteed win whenever he casts. So getting taken down just a little bit to add a little bit of counterplay seems pretty nice there. Aoshin's still going to be super good, and they also buff Tempest as well. So if you want to try to play Vertical Tempest, give it a try. But this is probably a very good change right here. Aoshin's still going to be great. Okay, Shyvana. This is going to be another one where I flame the devs a little bit. But also, like, I was watching the patch post-mortem that he does at the end of it. I don't always watch those, but I watched it yesterday, and they were talking about Mortdog was like, yeah, after I made the change, like the next day we were playing, and I was like, oh, actually, both of the changes we made to Shyvana was a nerf because we actually introduced counterplay to Shyvana by making her Flame Breath hit the highest amount of units, meaning that you can position around that. And when I heard him say that, I was like, yes, that was the first thing I thought. So like, yeah, appreciate the devs for seeing their mistake and righting the wrong. But like, that was literally my first thought. When I was reading these patch notes for when they nerfed her last patch, whenever they nerfed her mana and then they nerfed her targeting, they made her targeting much more healthy. But the devs interpreted that as a nerf because she's like, oh, or interpret it as a buff because she was like, oh, she'll always hit like a high value. She'll always have a high value cast because she'll hit a bunch of enemies. But my perspective was, and this is a perspective devs also share now, is that now you can counterplay. You can actually counterplay because all you have to do is separate your carry from your clump and she will never hit your carry. Whereas before it was a coin flip. So definitely a great quality of life change, but since they made that quality of life change, they definitely didn't need to nerf her mana as hard as they did. So they're just reverting that a little bit and making it where she only has to auto attack 3 times rather than 4. Very good change. I know I just blamed the devs here, but I appreciate them for recognizing their mistake and fixing it. But to me, it was kind of mind-blowing that they just didn't see that because it was literally my first thought. Like my very first thought when I read it. Anyways, all right, items and augments small. All right, Ionic Spark, the damage mana ratio is going down a little bit, probably deserved. Yeah, so because the value in the item is supposed to be in the shred, so this is a good place to hit it. Still going to be a good item when you need it. Sunfire Cape is getting taken down a little bit. Sorry, my nose is itching. Rocket Propelled Fist, health is going down a little bit, definitely deserved. Still going to be a good item, still going to be a good item. Sunfire. Draven's Axe, gold cash out, definitely deserved, going down a little bit because this is the most high roll scenario if you get offered this early game with Shimmer. If this is the Shimmer, this is so broken, especially the gold gain is so insane. So definitely deserved right here. Radiant Archangel Staff going up a little bit, sure. Radiant Deathblade going up, sure. Radiant Giant Slayer going up. The Threshold going down, which is also a buff. I didn't know if this needs this, but I'm sure they know better than me. I haven't had too much practice with this. Rabadon's Death Cap, Radiant, definitely deserved. This item is trash. Radiant Spear of Sojin, probably deserved. This item is not great as well. Cool, yo. Let's go to the next thing, and this is bugs. All right, so there's important bugs in here. The first couple ones are not very important, but some of the ones at the end are very important. So Gunblade now specifies, a lot of these are just tooltip fixes. Specifies that it heals the lowest health ally. It already did. This is just making the clarity more clear. Xayah, Corki, and Talon now have their 80% in their tooltips. Cool. Zonya's Hourglass now specifies that the holder is untargetable when stasis effect is triggered. This was already happening. It's just for clarity issues. Siphon's tooltip now correctly specifies a 2.5 hex dash range. It always did ever since they fixed that. So yeah, that is just a tooltip change. Fixed a hyper roll bug. Not going to talk about hyper roll, don't care. Fixed a bug where some missions didn't progress in hyper roll and double up. Cool. Shin dodge zone now displays properly at all star levels. This is just a spectator bug. This is especially on 1-star Shin, I think. The spectator was off. Cool. Lilia's second cast now hits her target even if she dashes. So that is actually a substantial buff to Lilia. So she will not miss her second cast. Because a lot of times she'll start swinging her little thing, and then she'll like be moving while she does it and misses. Now it'll actually hit wherever she dashes. So that is actually a very big buff to her, and that's why I say Scalescorn's getting buffed quite a bit. Shyvana will now move into range if there are no targets when casting her Flame Breath. Nice quality of life. Fiona will now move into range if there are no targets. Nice quality of life. Shoyu's third attack, Knockup, will now trigger at the target's location if the target is out of Shoyu's base attack range. This is a very good quality of life change. So if you guys like building a lot of RFCs on Shoyu will not be missing on the third attack. So RFC is a lot better item. Radiant RFC, Swift Shot, lot better item on Shoyu now. So give it a try if you want to try it. Volibear Chain Lightning should no longer appear to chain off the board. Cool. Fix an issue where the overtime visual effects would sometimes continue to play on a player screen after a PvE round. That's funny. Zoe will no longer give armor and magic resist from Kale's intervention to the same unit multiple times from a single cast. Oh wow, that was happening. That's crazy. Cool. Rage Wing champions will no longer gain rage when equipped with mana item. I don't know what the end of that is, but cool. That's a bug fix. And then this one's also important because this is actually a big nerf to Scalescorn. Runan's Hurricane no longer deals Scalescorn's bonus magic damage. So the build will change a little bit. I mean, Runan's is still an amazing item on Olaf. But yeah, so it will not apply this. So this will not be the strongest item. The strongest item for Olaf will now, or for Scalescorn Crump will now be Ionic Spark for sure. I think it was already the strongest one. Note they did take down the damage a little bit, but they buffed Scalescorn in several different ways. So I could see Scalescorn being a pretty meta composition, or maybe it's still just in the same spot because of some of these changes. But I would give the more AP focused variation of Scalescorn to try this patch. I would try the Lilia Diana. I would try like the more Lilia focused version of this. But also if you get a Sin emblem, it should be very strong because Kayn got buffed really big, and Kayn is very strong on stage 3 and stage 4, especially if you're going to be running 4 Sin with Olaf. So yeah, anyway, so in synopsis, I think this is going to be a pretty similar meta that we've had. That was the goal of this patch, to take some stuff down. But I think Scalescorn got a lot stronger in here. Maybe I could be completely wrong. I know I've been talking about it a lot. I think Scalescorn actually got a lot stronger. So maybe give Scalescorn a try next patch. But you can keep playing the same stuff you were playing. Xayah comp is going to be a lot better. So if you guys like playing Xayah, again, Xayah is more of a high roll composition. So I don't ever recommend forcing it. It is so expensive. It's a comp that you play when you're very ahead. But if you guys have those situations where you see Xayah being able to be played, definitely give her a try this patch if you weren't trying her last patch, because she did get buffs in all the right places to her base stats and to her 1-star, so that is a buff in all the right places. And Shyvana got buffed as well. So one of your outs, if you want to go from guild into Shyvana, one of your outs also got buffed as well. So again, stuff you're playing the last patch is going to be good. Corki's still going to be good. Trainer's still going to be good. I think Xayah is going to be a lot better. I think Scalescorn is going to be a lot better on this patch, especially the Lilia variation. And then if you want to try a really fun build, try out Lee Sin. Lee Sin, they buffed him and they buffed some of his augments. And they buffed some of his outs, like going to 6 Tempest or 8 Tempest with an Ao Shin. They also buffed Shyvana, which is also one of his late game outs if you go out of the 6 Dementor build. But anyways, that's gonna be it, guys, for the video. If you liked the video, please like the video. Comment below with anything that you're excited about next patch or what you want to try. I will not be playing this patch again because I will just be playing PvE. If you guys want to play PvE with me, you totally can. I play with viewers, so all you need to do is follow me over at twitch.tv/tradingtft. I stream there on weekdays. And make a PvE account. You just search that for your region. Anybody can make a PvE account. You don't need honor. Like it'll say it on the website, but you don't need honor. I have like 20 PvE accounts. Cool. And then also the other thing is I post on twitter.com/tradingtft pretty much every day. So if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me there. But that's it. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic night, wherever you are. I just hope you're doing well. See ya. Bye.